Greetings, sports fans. It's George, Custom Tide Flies and Guide Service. And today we're going to be doing a tutorial on the CT Legged Mud Minnow. This is a searching pattern. All the different accoutrements on it. It could be a shrimp, it could be a crab, it could be a mud minnow. It could be, about anything. This is what it looks like when it's done, okay? But it's top weighted, so when it goes in, it's going to go in this way, and then it's going to do this while it's going across the bottom, or perhaps it'll do this. If you have a leader on it and you shake it, it'll do this. So it'll do all kind of cool stuff for you. Okay, so let me change my lights around here and I'll show you how to build this thing. Okay, so in my vise I have mounted a Mustad 3407 DT in a size 1. Excuse me, like I said a minute ago, this is top weighted, kind of like a clouser. So I'm going to get tied in with my Danville Flymaster 210 denier in brown. And I'm going to get medium Hareline lead eyes, and that goes in about one width back, as if you were building a clouser. You're going to bring your thread back to where it's just past the point of the hook. And this is a stopper for where your Zonker strip is going to go in here shortly. You want to get that good and covered. Get your eyes straight, and then you're going to paint this with head cement. Do not, or Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails, or super glue, or whatever else. Do not try to paint it with UV resin, because if you do, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. You need friction, and UV resin will make the fly slippery. And then you're going to have a hard time with it. Okay, so next up is your Zonker strip. Wrap is ginger, black bark ginger Zonker strip. Standard cut, standard width. So you want your Zonker strip to be 1.5 times the shank. So the shank on this is 1 inch. So 1.5 times the shank is 2.5 inches. I have a ruler here on my bench. And That shows me, it's actually a 6-inch ruler, but I'm going to take my bodkin and put it under the hair, and I'm just going to pull the hair out of the way here. All right, to expose that little piece of skin right there. Then I'm going to take a Sharpie, and I'll find my 1 inch, take a Sharpie, and put a dot there. I'm going to take my bodkin, I'm going to put my finger in underneath of the dot, and I'm going to drill down through the Zonker strip with the bodkin until I feel the point of the bodkin come through with my finger, and then poke it the rest of the way through, and then just kind of route that a little bit. Take my hook point, poke it through there. To get that mounted in the vise. So if you want to check your length, that's where you're supposed to be. Give me a second. Let me see if I can't focus that a little better. Glare off the lights, so I say I guess what we're getting is glare off the lights on the fur, so there's not really a lot I can do about it. Okay. I'm going to get tied in. I got some UTC ultra wire, size medium in copper. That ends up being about 7 inches. That's enough for 2. And I tie these, by the dozen. So this is enough for 2. 1 should be right around 3.5 inches, thereabouts. If you're going to tie them individually. All right, so now I got some Chinese saddle hackle in tan. It's another Hareline product. I'm just going to grab that saddle hackle by the point, and I'm going to rake the fibers back like that. Get that tied in. Now you know that you're going to have enough on this particular bug. I need at least 3 inches of palmerable hackle. So anybody that works with Chinese saddle at all, you know that you get, it's a mix mash. Get that wrapped on there. Try to get as even a body as you can. A little more. Here we go. And you're going to stop at about 1 eye width behind those lead eyes. 1 hook eye width behind the lead eyes. All right, next is your Palmer hackle and Chinese hackle. You want to be very gentle getting this started because the stem is very not brittle, but delicate. There we go. Now that we got things started out, we can my hackle stem broke, so now I have to recover. This is a unique opportunity. In order to recover something like that, you take what you broke and snip off a few of those fibers to give you some place to grab. Pull those back because you need this here in the front. So we're just gonna kind of splice. You're gonna tie that in. And there we go. All fixed. Okay. couple of half hitches. Bring your bobbin cradle over. Grab some tension on that. Now you're just gonna kind of pull the wire down in between the hackle fibers. If you trap any, you can pull them out with your bodkin. Like right there, those are gonna get trapped. So I got a little bodkin here. I'm gonna pull those out so that they don't get trapped. And then I'm going to helicopter that off. And then I'm going to put that in a pair of hackle pliers, because I'm going to use hackle pliers when I put the next piece on the next fly. I want to make sure that my wire is good and secure. So after I take these wraps in the front, I'm going to come over behind the eye like this, and I'm going to take some wraps this way. All right, and then I'm going to take a couple wraps this way. Okay. And then I'm going to get a spot of ultra thin UV resin. Just a little itty bitty bit. I'm going to take my bodkin, and I'm going to spread it out and rub it on the threads, on the thread, because I want it to get down in the thread. I'm going to count to 10. And that's just 10 seconds of soaking in. And I'm going to hit that with my light. Okay, so none of that is going anywhere. So the difference between here to the left of the eye and to the right of the eye is I had to put more materials on top of that thread, and I needed the friction in order to get things to work the way I wanted them to work. In this case, to the right of the eyes, that's not the case. So it's okay to put a little UV resin on there. Okay, now we got to give them a haircut. And we're going to take dubbing brush. You could use a boar brush, but I like, for something like this, I like these Velcro type dubbing brushes. This one is made by Stonfo. I get it got it at Hareline. But it's got Velcro on the end of it. Now, what I did years ago, I would take adhesive Velcro and put it around the end of a pencil and use that, and it accomplishes the same thing. And you want to just get those, get that dubbing worked up into the Palmered hackle. All right, then you're going to bring your Zonker strip up. Get that snugged down. This piece here is like a tag end, so you can take that off. And then you can bring a couple of cross wraps across that. And that's not going anywhere. Now, we're going to put some legs on here. It's a Legged Mud Minnow. So we're going to put some legs on here. And I'm using chrome silly legs, black barred copper, and just take one, fold it in half, snip it. Then find the middle. And that's your tie-in point. So on your side of the eyes, here, not down here, here. Just put a couple of securing wraps on there and make sure that your legs are somewhat even. And take it, pull some snug to it, take a tight wrap. All right. Then you can put a little stretch on these legs, take them around the top of the shank. All right. And then you want to check them. You see how those are all wonky, so you do them again. And then you check them again. They're still kind of wonky. So you do them again until they come out even. There we go. And now they're even. You just kind of pull them down. Take a couple wraps over the top. That's what your top should look like. That's what your bottom should look like. All right, now you're going to do a beeswax covered dubbing loop. So I got a chunk of soft beeswax. I'm going to wax the thread up. I'm going to make a dubbing loop. Okay, my turbo spinner. Back to my dubbing. And of course I pushed that down inside the bag because it was coming out. I'm going to open your loop up and start stuffing dubbing up in the loop. You want this kind of bulky and chunky because you want to have enough to rake back and blend into the Zonker strip. So this doesn't have to be tight like the body was. All right, now I lay my finger under there and then I give it a turn or two. Try not to let that happen. It'll slide right off your finger. All right, a little tighter. That'll work. Couple of half inches here. All right, one behind, come across the top, one in front, come across the top, oh, try that again, one behind, come across the top, one below, come across the top, another behind, come across the bottom, one in front, come across the top, and come across the bottom. There we go. However you make it work, you need at least one behind, at least one in front, and at least one going each way across the top and the bottom. Because you're trying to spread that dubbing material out. So again, with your dubbing brush, you're going to rake this forward to pull it out and then rake it back to blend it in. Same thing with beside the eye. Then on the bottom, rake it out and rake it back. Same thing beside the eye. And you just keep doing that. All right. And then you're going to take some thin UV resin or head cement or Sally Ann, hard as nails, or super glue, whatever you're going to use for your thread here. I like the Solares Ultra Thin Bone Dry. Some people like the Loon, some people like this, some people like that. You know, whatever. Just don't use this stuff from Hobby Lobby. I got a bad report on this stuff from Hobby Lobby. You're not exactly sure what the problem was, except for the fact that the guy said it didn't work as well as what he thought it was gonna. So there you have it. CT Legged Mud Minnow. I hope this tutorial was good for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Custom Tied Bugs, B-U-G-Z. And you can also find this and a lot of other great information at www.custom-tied.com. custom-tied.com. Have a splash. Don't forget the dash. Happy tying.